So good evening guys and welcome back to what is a brand new era. It's been a few weeks off here in the home of racing, but we do return this fine Monday evening for season 5 of OTL. It is round 1 and tonight they are kicking off in absolute style as we head to Britain for a sprint format race. Of course, a little bit different this year. Not one shot qualifying and then a 25% race because we have the sprint format, so it will be short qualifying or 18 minutes, then a 9-lap race that should be very intense, and then on to our 26 laps. Cars, of course, very different this year, generating downforce in a completely different manner through ground effects and not over the body aerodynamics, so relying much more on, I would say, driver skill this year. It's a lot more technical through your hands and your feet. The car's not quite as easy to be aggressive. You've got to be methodical and consistent. That's where the lap time seems to come in these cars, especially when it comes into race pace. We're up to 18-inch tyres, so tyre wear's a bit more prevalent. Things like graining and blistering may come into play a lot earlier for the drivers than they used to, because the tyre just takes that little bit more of a beating. But on to the teams of this season. We have Vicar of Digbly in the Alpine, who currently doesn't have a team at the moment. Then we have Rob and Shiv in the McLaren, Ranger and Chubby in the Mercedes, Matty and Skarma in the Ferraris. We have Ryan, Sam and Joe in the Haas, Pedro and Jay in the Red Bull, Nelly and Serge in the Alfa Romeo, and Kristaps and Nadeem in the Alfa Tauri. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. There's only 15 drivers. Oh, there's 15 in the lobby. So, let's get on to the stream. Let's see who's joined us this fine evening. And we should be set for what should be some very entertaining racing. If I could give you any insight to, I think is probably holding an advantage walking into this evening. I think we could be on for a bit of a fight between Nude Potato and Nadeem. That's what I think anyway. Let's not quote me on that because, of course, I could be wrong. But that's how I think it will be. Good evening, Pedro. I do love you too. Good evening, Rob, Adam, Stephen, Kristaps, Jay. I want a Skarma update every lap. I want you to be on the grid, Mr. Stephen. And good luck to all, of course. Doing a bit of running there. Of course, a performance patch just came in this morning as well, so that's going to be a critical feature. If guys seem to be a little bit off or just struggling a little bit, we have to bear that in mind, because changes came, torque changes, gearing ratios changes, handling model also changed. So who's got on top, who's been able to get as much time in as they possibly could early in the day, who's been able to get on top of the changes, and who's not had any time, who goes into the session blind with no big opportunity to run the new settings and really have a feel at how we are. But other than that, we await any latecomers possibly, otherwise I'm good to go if the racers are good to go. Guys, please, if you haven't as well, drop a like on the stream, give it a thumbs up. It's always very much appreciated. And now we just have a small delay. Say Mick is busy. He has a very... Yes, I know. It is a bit of a shame. Not busy either, just got some things happening. We of course, everybody here wishes him well. If you are watching young Mick. Or I call him the Green Goblin because he looks like William Dafoe. Or Willem Dafoe. Like genuinely, if anybody knows who he is. That's what Mick looks like. Just a bit cleaner, not as rough looking. Oh, and Mick's in! Mick's in, Stephen! There he is! He joins and takes us to 16. So that will make your day. And I look like Freddy. Hey, I never said looking like William Dafoe was a bad thing. Good evening, Skarma. The Green Goblin's quite a sick. Sweet. Suey. So that's it. The ticks are upon us. The guys get set for the first qualifying session of this new era. Who comes out on top? It's going to be interesting. As I say, I think the battle, of course, I actually missed a name out. I think the battle tonight, the guys up front, is going to be Nude Potato, ENTXJ and Nadeem. I think they're going to be 3 watch. Connor Kidd, of course, taking a full-time seat. He was a driver that was very competitive last year. Could he be in the frame? Nelly as well, our Season 3 champion. Has he got anything in the books to show up and take a stand back on a championship mount? And Surge, I'm sure Surge was back, but I appear not to see him in the session just yet. One thing I will say about this new era, the cars are very, very lovely. They are genuinely very beautiful this year. Much better they've been in the last few years. They look much more elegant. I wish they were as elegant to drive, but that's very much not the case. You're very aware of the new weight in the car, in my opinion. Traction zones are very, very tricky. And for me, at first instant there, tyre wear seemed to have went up. From that practice session I was running there, tyre wear seemed to be a lot more than it was, so I up 2 stops. 2 stops seem to be the way in real F1 at the moment, so maybe 2 stops is the way here. And of course weather could play a part, just as we see it rather dirty, or dirty, rather dark on the screen. And now we wait for some track action. 1000, better to drive, yes, they are better, they're just, I think they're more technical to drive, which makes it a bit more of a challenge. I think it was too easy last year to be on the limit. So the fact that it's a bit harder on the limit this time is better in my opinion. But as far as I'm seeing, they've made pad very, very powerful again on the traction zones, as we have either Shiv or Rob heading out on track. Is it Shiv first, so Shiv leads the way? Oh no, I take that back, it's an Alpha Romeo. It could be Nelly. Yes, it is. So Nelly's going to lead the way. Oof. I'll even oof that and I hate it. We get our first look at the new cars on track for OTL Season 5 as Shiv goes... Oh, it sounded like somebody went screaming past Nelly there, but that was just not the case. Mick on board ASAP, but he's still in the box at the moment. I will watch for that light the blue dot heading out onto circuit though. Another thing as well that's going to be very interesting this year, so tyres out the pit stop are very cold, a low end of the 70 degrees, and optimum tyres 95 degrees this year, so 20 degrees to find in temperature on outlaps and qualifying, plus after pit stops. So watch for drivers really struggling, especially at Silverstone when they come over the ridge coming out the pits. The rear of the car can get very light and it's very easy to lose it. And then you've got a couple of really technical corners here right after pit exit, which could catch some drivers out on the cold rubber. So it's going to be one to watch. And let's just see exactly who has the pace. I expect to see high 27, low 28s, maybe a bit better in this group. I think maybe Nadeem can go mid 27s, maybe even low 27s, and you see there straight away Nelly having a bit of moment, but we'll go on board. For the first time, Nelly will be our first man to get an onboard of the season. He heads into turn 1, nice and easy flat out in the soft compound tyre, then through the kink of 2 down into the braking zone of turn 3. You're going to smash that pedal at 70 miles, get the car tucked in nice into the apex, get it out as wide as you can, and tuck up nicely in 4, then pick up your throttle. He chooses third gear and take a big chunk of the cup. It's going to Wellington Straight for the first time, heading through the Aramco bridge. Now down into 7 and then turn 8, and I think going wide here, let the car drift out, allows you to pick up the throttle nice and early. Get a nice strong exit. You see Nelly are very aggressive, then take as much of the curb as you dare, and now onto the Lewis Hamilton straight. Then into Cox, not flat this year anymore, you got to have a small lift on entry. He chooses not to have the downshift. I think the downshift allows you to have a very small lift. And into Magus and Beckett, it's one of the best sequence of corners on the racetrack. Then onto the hanger straight, he's got a driver ahead as well, and he's going to be right in his racing line there. So that was the Haas, I think, of Ryan Sam or Raspberry just getting in the way there, just a little bit. I can't really say that was impeding because it was on a straight line. Then down the 2 corners to go for Nelly. And let's see where he goes. Read the car trying to over-rotate there as he came into the second to last corner. And it's going to be just a 29.4 for Nelly. So maybe the track just not quite there. Shifter's a 29.6 and he's a couple of tenths away. Ryan Sam getting chalked up a little bit there from a driver on the outside. I think that was mixed. Sitting right in the firing line there. And Ryan Sam gets away with that. That could have been an invalidation. So let's go further back. Who do we have? Is that Chubby Slug? I think he's maybe just opening a lap. Yes, he is. We've got Red Bull, a Pedal, or J just about to come in the line. So how competitive can J be? I think he'll be right up there. He goes to a 41.2, but I think that's a moment on circuit. Pedro coming round the last corner now. It's going to be a 30.1. He goes into P4 and pretty much on par pace with Kristaps as well. Let's go further down the order. Where is Nadine coming through? Magus and Beckett's now. And for me, Nadine, one of the strongest drivers coming into this season. I'll be very, very interested to see how quick he can actually be. He's in the Alpha Tauri this year. Just a couple of corners left to go. Picks up the throttle nicely, using 4th gear very, very well, and it's going to be a mid-28, straight into the mid-28s. There's a 9/10 gap from him to Nelly. And that looks astronomical at the moment. Dixie's on an invalidated lap. Corner kid coming through Cox. Gets away with that one, thinking maybe had the lift. Oh, Chubby Slug, he's had a moment, we'll get away with that. How is Mick getting on? He's coming up towards Cox corner. And that's a Haas. Is that Raspberry coming into the last corner? Yes it is, but of course he's on an invalidated lap. So Chubby Slug, he's invalidated as well. So corner kid, couple of corners to go, and you see just struggling there with understeer. He had to really pause and picking up the throttle. Lazy, the car seems takes an age to get onto the throttle. It's going to be a 29.1 for corner. He goes into P2, but still 6/10 of a second of a gap from P1 to P2 at the moment. Mick now to the line, and he goes a 32.1, slots into P9 at the moment. I hope everyone is well who's chosen to join us. Please guys, if you haven't, drop a thumbs up on the video. Sub to the channel also if you haven't already. We would appreciate it very, very muchly. So OTL this evening. Of course, we will be back with HWR on Wednesday evening. OTL Realistic on Thursday. And then P0 on Sunday as Chubby Slug picks up an invalidation at Cops. Now that's interesting. A couple of drivers got away with that. Same line at Cops. And Matt loses his lap there. So that's going to be something to watch. The game picking and choosing when it chooses to take a lap away from somebody. And of course nobody can be moaning about the track limits anymore, because in real life they're being very, very strict. So, first runs I think done at the moment. Every driver will come into the pits. We've got Skarma coming into the last couple of corners. He's going to open a lap. So we'll stay with the man himself. Oh, and that's going to be an invalidation straight away. He just turned in way too early there. Mick coming into the pits as well, so That is the first runs. Raspberry, Matty, Chubby Slug, Surge, or Surge is back. Rob Wells and Scammer not getting the laps in on the first run, and that'll be the tyres dead. It won't even be worth now using that tyre. You better just take box and accept that you've only got 2 runs because the wear is so high now. Although you don't carry the tyre into the session anymore, but Silverstone, it's a long old pit stop, it's a long time. If you don't allow up now, you probably put yourself under pressure to get 2 full runs on fresh rubber. Scotland forever if Pedro gets a... Yes, it's a deal. You have my word on that, Stephen. So where is Matty, the other Ferrari man? He's coming up to cop so we can stay with him. And the Ferrari, probably one of the nicest looking cars on the grid this year. Back to that more classical colour scheme of the black wings, red body. DRS open. Down the hangar straight. Can I call Mafia pure mutant when he crack? Yes, I can also do such a thing. So Matty, 2 corners to go. Where can he slot that Ferrari? It's looking to be a reasonably competitive lap here from Matty. He slots into P3s at 29.2. And it's starting to look very competitive from corner kid downwards. But Nadim at the moment, almost sealing his fate in OTL to lose maybe the drive. I mean, that's probably HOR pace at that. But we'll see how it continues. Where is Nelly? Nelly on the lap. Yep, coming to cops, 10th and a half up on his run. Again, choosing not to downshift. He's happy just to hang it out in 8th gear through cops. And he is now half a second up, so Nelly about to go into the 28s. Has he got any more time through the last couple of corners? Rob Wills up to P2 in the grid in his McLaren, 28.6, looking very, very pacey. Could be bye-bye P0 for Mr. Rob. Oh, Nelly's had a big moment coming around the last corner, and that will lose the lap time, but he was looking very, very good just as we go on Bobby Shiv. Doing the exact same thing. So Shiv now has a moment, a couple of guys really starting to struggle now in the traction. And that is not what they need. Raspberry coming up to Cops Corner, aka Dixie or Adam, you call him whatever you want. Knobhead probably fits as well. Sarge on another invalidated bunch. Let's see when the team is. He invalidated his one. I think he's... Oh no, he's not in an outlap. Nelly is. Shiv again. He's had another moment. So rear tyres are cooked on Shiv's car. Absolutely shot. They are giving him no more grip whatsoever. Let's see Kristaps split coming up. He's 6, almost 7/10 up. So a low 29 for Kristaps. He's in the ballpark to maybe second row of the grid here. Has he got any more time through the last couple of corners? Could he attack maybe that front row? Can he get himself down into the 28s enough to put a challenge in on the front row? It would be a big ask, but an astronomical one if he can get the job done. And it's going to be, it's a 29 flat. He does take P3 and a 29.047, and he leads out Conlon by 0.13 of a second now. And Chubby Slug, out of nowhere, and his Mercedes slots that car onto a 28.4 and pole position. And that is unexpected. Oh, and Pedro out. Pedro is out. He's had a moment through turn 2. So I've just got an Aston Martin flying past. Is this new potato? Yes it is, so let's stay with Con. half a second up for Con, so I'm mid-29. He could be right in the fight here. Of course, though, you've got to remember the sprint race coming up will set the grid for the 50% race or feature race thereafter, so there is more to come. If you don't have a good qualifying now, you've got 9 laps to try and recover that. Where does New Potato go? He goes to P4, so 28.9. I think 1.1 seconds in the end. Where is Ryan Sam? He's on another invalidated run. Guys, really struggling to have valid laps here. Let's see Mick coming up towards Cop's corner. Stephen will like this. Andy's in his man's car. Oh, he's had to scrub a lot of speed there, and he's very low on energy at this point. Is Mick? Maybe he's just rushing here to get back to the pits so he can get a last run in. Let's see though when he hits the split. Oh, and the fuel's gone, so that's it over for him. The Potato we know is on an in lap. Jay just on an out lap, so Jay's going to be our next man, I think, to get going. And that will be him coming on to his final run of the session. And why have I not got to tell the time has been hidden by the yellow flag in sector 3? And this will be Jay's last run, so we'll stay on board with Mr. E and TXJ and see what the Red Bull man can do in his Red Bull, of course. I think Jay's got much more time in the pocket here, so let's see how this plays out through turn 1. Maybe not taking as much of the apex as we like there. You can definitely attack that curb more, but you're talking minuscule tint, under like hundredths of a second gains. The more critical corners coming up as a McLaren does well to get out of his way. Split time coming up just at the bottom of the Wellington straight here, so we'll see if he's going to be up, and he is by half a tenth still. Oh no. Oh yikes, what kind of pizza did you get? So Jay now on the run up to Cups, gets a lovely exit there, absolutely perfect on the throttle application, balanced the wheel spin, absolutely on point. How much speed does he carry through Cops? Another driver choosing not to downshift. That's interesting. We go for a bigger lift and just carry the speed in 8th. Somebody ahead there's going to get out of the way. Into Magus and Beckett's we go. And down through the last part of this onto Hanger Straight. DRS open. 4 tenths up, so a 29 flat inbound for Jay, unless he's got more time in the last couple of corners. Oh no. So we'll find his braking point at 80 metres, so the last big braking zone off the lap. 1 corner to go now through the count, absolutely flat out. Where does Jay go? He goes to P4, and I think that will be at best now for his session, so Jay has to settle with P4. Let's see where Nelly is. He's just coming through turn 1 and turn 2. We've got Raspberry coming up to the top of Hanger Straight now, so we'll stay on board with him. He's not even set a representative lap time at the moment. I think he's probably got a mid-29 in him, so he should be right there, kind of Matty, Nelly, Ryan Sam area. But this lap's looking like it may be a little bit off. It is, it's a 30.0. And he goes pretty much matching Pedro Scarma. Had another big moment. No. The only time this barbecue sauce if I get the Texas barbecue pizza. And Nadeem matching his first sector. Pretty much no time gained, all lost at all. So can Mato Man hang on to that pole position? That would be a big scalp at the start of his OTL Season 5. Nadeem does choose to downshift into Cops. You just see how that allows him to carry a bit more speed, in my opinion. Oh, but the front end of the car just not playing ball from the demon exit Beckett's, and he's still half a tenth down. Ow. If he cannot find the time for his last few corners, Matoman has a real chance here. Let's see Rob Wills split coming into sector 1. He's 2 tenths up, so Rob Wills is not a million miles away from pole position here either. He just needs to keep the lap together. So Nadeem, can he get the job done? Can he dislodge Chubby Slug from pole position for the sprint race coming up? He can. It's a 28.360. He dislodges Mataman by 1/10 of a second, Mataman coming through Magnussen, Beckett's now, and he's dropped the car. So Mataman's went round. Can Rob Wills now put a challenge on against Nadeem? It's a 28.6 for Rob. He needs 2.5 tenths to put some form of a challenge on here. ENTSJ's taking the flag, so his session is over. Rob absolutely on the limit. He goes wide and he's 4 tenths up. A low 28 inbound for Rob Wills here. He seems to have it in the bag. He just needs to keep it clean now for the last couple of corners, and Rob Wills going to be on pole position for the sprint race. Of course not pole position for the feature, but this will be the pole position, and he will get the point off of this session because that's how it works in real life. So Rob Wills, can he do it? And he does on his season 5 first race, takes pole position for that sprint. Where is New Potato? He's on an invalidated run, so it's absolutely over. Nelly now half a second up, but he needs to find 1.1 seconds. Nelly would need to try and dislodge Rob Wills. A 28 flat, that's what I thought the session would be come the end. High 27, low 28s. Nelly through the last couple of corners. Where can Nelly put that Alfa Romeo? He only improves to P7. Invalidated lap for their corners coming in. Mix, it's over for Mick, and that is it. Nadeem and Rob Wills by 3/10 of a second. Car on pole position for the sprint race. That is a tremendous result for Rob. Of course, now puts the first championship points on the board of any driver. He has scored first. He's laid down the gauntlet. Can he keep it on track now and get the business done coming into the race? 9-lap race coming up, and of course those 9 laps will determine the starting grid for our 50% race. And that is a huge job there from Rob. So that is it, all over. We have 9 laps coming up. Yes, very, very good job there, Rob. So there we see it, Rob takes it by 3/10 of a second. Then we have Chubby Slug, a 10th behind ENTXG and P4. But look at Jay, Ryan Sam, Matty, Nelly, they're all pretty much in the same 10th of a second. Then we have Nude Potato and P8, a little bit off the pace. Watch him try and push through in these 9 laps. Kristaps, Connor Kidd rounding out the top 10. Then we have Shiv, Mick, OTL Raspberry, Pedro, of course, going out early in the session there. But he's still got time on the board, and Surgeon Skarma just could not get a valid lap at all. And that puts them at the back. But of course, 9 laps ahead. And opportunity for the guys to make gains. I think Rob will be very happy just to hold the front row. I think he'd be very impressed. I would be very impressed. I'm very impressed that he took actually pole by such a chunk. It's a very good effort, but that is not a pace for P0 on a Monday, on a Sunday evening. Although Mataman was right there, so maybe guys are just a lot closer this year, which is good to see. Conditions looking much better this time around. Sun is out and shining. Will we get some drama in our first race of the season? And of course, there's some new features we're not spoke about either. Formation laps, taking your own grid slot is now a thing. You've got to be very careful, because if you take your own grid slot wrong or not within the limits, you will be set back on your grid start. That was me just slapping my arms. Ah, Mike. I thought that was Mick talking. I just seen the M. Mike, it's good to hear from you. I hope you're well, sir. As Rob now leads us on away for a formation lap. Of course, 9 laps only ahead. It is the sprint. And let's have a look now. Has anybody took a risk and went for the soft compound tyre? No, they have not. I'm sorry, Mike. I just seen the M. Oh, that was a yeah. Oh, sorry. It's good to hear. I actually need to get in touch with you, Mike. Good evening, Leon. Stop it, Stephen. So, front row of the grip will be Rob and Nadeem. Row 2, Chubby Slug and Jay. Row 3, Ryan, Sam and Matty. Row 4, Nelly and Nude Potato. Row 5, Chris Stips and Connor. Row 6, Shiv and Mick. Row 7, Dixie and Pedro. And row 8, Surge and Skarma. 9 laps ahead, good evening, Rage, of what should be a very, very, very dramatic and entertaining race. So Rob now, is he going to slow up? Took the formation lap. A nice pace. I don't wear boxers. Now of course you've got to do your own burnouts. Do not drop the car, that's what you don't need. I think the audio is a bit broken there, seems like cars are flying past, but that's obviously not the case. And we'll go to the back, scan around the last couple of corners. And let's go to position gained before we start so we can get an idea. The Skarma comes in. He takes his grid slot and does get in just, and now we will have 1 lights, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights in our OTL Season 5 sprint race. First race of the season is away. It was a long hold in the lights, and the Red Bull there, a P4, seemed to get a good start, and Robbie's had a big moment under the traction, and he falls way down the order as he tries to get going. He's down to P9, and there's a car round. Ferrari round 2 was that I think was Matty, and there's now Shiv round as well. Drama at the start, ENTSG up 3 positions, P4 to the start. Nude Potatoes round, everybody's dropping the car at the start. They're being too aggressive. Chubby Slug now up to P2, Ryan Sam 3. Chris Taps P4, Nelly also getting closed down. Look at it go 3 wide through the third corner. Pedro up to P5, he's found 9 positions. And look at this, now Raspberry coming down the inside, but Pedro I think is going to be able to hold him out there, although Raspberry is now there. He's going to try and go on the longer line. We'll stay on the rear wing of this. Who gets the better run up to Cops Corner now is Dixie and Pedro will go side by side. Now is there somebody going to back out here into Cops yet? Pedro gets ahead for Cops Corner, and that was absolute carnage at the start of the race. Drivers just seem to be really struggling at getting the power down, and that is caught drivers, and there's somebody off. Pedro, he's had a moment. Pedro's had a moment, he's in the wall. He's been lucky to get no damage there. Was it contact between him and Raspberry? Has that was caused the damage for Pedro, or has he just dropped it? But ENTSJ leads the way, he's up 3. Get Chubby Slug in P2 and closing very well. They're very even on power, and look at Mato Man here, he's absolutely on it. He'll pull to the inside and they're going to go side by side now through turn 1. This is exactly what we want for a sprint race, and now through 2 side by side you'll see them exit. Mato Man's got the inside line down into 3. Who gets the better J on that higher line? But he will be slightly compromised now on his exit, so Chubby Slug needs to be aware here. And Ryan Sam coming to get involved in this party as well, so he gets the better run now down Wellington Straight for the second time, and ENTSG I think is going to use a little bit of energy and stay ahead for now. That was some very, very good racing there between the two of them. So, further back, Rob Wills, the pole position man. That start has held him away back. Don't know what's going on with the timings between Raspberry and Nelly, but that's certainly not the case. And here comes Rob on Mick. Is he going to go side by side into Cops? No, he chooses against it. And they continue on, and now look at Ryan Sam, he's all over the trumpet. But look, ENTSJ's went wide on the grass, and Mato Man will now get the run. He had to absolutely get out of there, but Jay couldn't help it, he had nowhere to go now. Jay's got so much straight line speed in that car. He's a very hard man to overtake. Matoman's going to have to be aggressive in the corners here if he wants this overtake done. But then Jay's probably just going to come back down the inside. He goes into the second to last corner. He'll leave space for Jay on the inside. And look at Ryan Sam going through on the inside. He now capitalises on that and gets through on Jay. Absolutely tremendous racing here between our top three at the moment. Now who's going to come out back on top? Of course, Day. Oh, and there's been a big moment there for Jay, and he's dropped the car. Round he goes, the car just steps away through turn 2 on the crest of the hill, and he's got to be careful here. He will go to a solid car now, and he's going to have very, very hot tyres, and he's now side by side with Mick as Mick squeezes himself up onto P6. Jay's going to fight this now. He'll get some DRS. He should be able to get the cars back under control and the temperatures under control, and Chubby Slug now leads the way. Oh Mike, this new change, the new change, I was feeling it in practice as well. The car gets very light through 1 and 2 now. And look at Ryan Sam all over the back of Matoman at Cops Corner. So Ryan Sam looking aggressive at the moment. Apparently not. I think the setups are wrong, Mike. I think they've done this performance patch and everybody just jump onto the old setups, and I think they're not quite right as well. Matoman going a little bit wide there. That could have been a warning for that. You need to be careful of that. As we've got action further back, here we go. Mick, Nelly and Jay. Is Jay had another moment? No, he's just down behind. And here we go, Mick going down the inside. Oh, who was that? No, it's Jay and Rob Will, sorry, fighting it out. And Mick now chasing down Shiv. Oh, and Chubby Slarky's round. The pure mutant has done it. And that was just for you, Stephen. But he's got a much of a commanding lead that he will hold P4. I hope you're laughing really hard now, Stephen. And what's happened to Raspberry? Raspberry must have had a moment as well. Did he have to take a new wing? Now Shiv catching up to the back of Chubby Slug. And further back, let's see the gaps. Nadine further down as well. He was a driver cop in that early stuff. Rob Wills picks up the first time penalty and Dixie's chose to retire in the pits. I think he knew he was starting at the back anyway, so happy just to take a little break. Yeah, everybody seemed to really struggle, especially in the opening laps, Adam, and look at this ahead. So here comes the Alpine and Mick trying to get the run, and Jay's going to launch one round the outside into the second to last corner. He's got to be careful there, because that's going to give the McLaren and Rob an opportunity, but he's got to be careful now, because here comes Surge round the outside. But he has to get out at Rob managing to hold that one off for now. And Nadine right there with Surge as well. Let's just see where he can make the move. So anything going to come off here, and here comes Rob Wills and Mick. They're going to go side by side. Down Wellington Straight, Rob will tuck up on the inside. Mike will be able to get on Mick, so he'll be able to get on the throttle just a bit better. Rob trying to go the long way round. Can he get onto the throttle? But Mick's going to keep his nose in here, so they're going to go side by side on the run up to Cops here. Who will back out of it? Mick more ahead, but Rob's coming for some round. The outside he goes at Cops now. Oh, that is an interesting one right there, because Rob left the track. But he continues on. He's on the back of ENTXJ. Shiv also on the back of Chubby Slug, although Shiv as they get on board nearly having a moment. We're down to 3 laps to go. Ryan Sam is 3.9 seconds ahead I would agree, Mike. I feel like that position probably needs to be given back a little bit. I don't feel that was fair at all. And Nadeem and Surge, side by side. Surge really getting involved in some track battles, so the race is very open. Not quite as one-sided as I thought it would be. And guys are able to come back through now. Is Rob going to try one down the inside and Jay? He is not. So Jay needs to be attacked, I think, in the corners because his straight line speed is bonkers. You need to have a big lunge against him and then try and hold him out and then use your superior grip in the corners to pull away. Here comes Rob under the DRS. Can he make enough gains? We've got a yellow flag in sector 1. We won't get a safety car this late in the race, I wouldn't think. And you just see there how Jay is struggling in the corners, but the straight line speed's making him a very hard car. We'll see, it's the penalty points this year, Stephen, so it could be hurtful. ENTXJ picks up a time penalty now, so Rob is really fighting him for track position here. Maybe he'll be more keen to try and push through. Is Shiv going to be able to get the run in Matthew? Though Matthew got a lot of energy on reserve, but here comes Shiv. He'll go to the inside line and through he goes. Man, but look at the speed it carries round the outside. The defensive and Shiv goes round. Shiv is round. And I don't think there was any contact, and Chubby Slug picks up a time penalty for multiple warnings. So top 3, Ryan Sam from Chris Stubbs from Nelly at the moment. Nelly somehow up to 3rd. What's happened there? Oh, Nelly and Surge are teammates. Yes, Mike, I think that is exactly what's going on. Because guys have not had enough time to run any GP modes and really see the overheating as a thing. And they're struggling, you see there, look how much it got away from Surge. He was hardly even touching the throttle there. The car still broke away. Rob still trying to chase down ENTXJ. They've got Nadeem behind, and Nadeem will recover P5. If he keeps going at the pace he's going, we've got a McLaren round. I think that could be Shiv again. It is, he'll fall to the back of the grid. He may even be caught by Skarma at this point. But Ryan Sam looking very comfortable. He leads away 3.4 seconds. Nelly closing in Chris Staps. Nelly eyeing a front road start for the feature race ahead. So here comes Rob and Jay also, and look at this, he's got a much better run here, but look at Jay's straight line speed, he's so hard to overtake. In fact, he's near impossible to get the job done, so you really need to go for it in the corner. And here goes Rob with the cutback, and he's made that work absolutely beautifully. He knew Jay was going to be struggling on the grip, and now Rob can use the downforce in the car to try and pull away, and he's got to try and break the gap before the DRS, because Jay will come back like an absolute steam train. But he's got the energy, and look at this. It's been going to lap 8. Jay's already going to be tucked right up behind Rob. Is he going to go for one in the inside, down into turn 3? He is thinking about it. He shows Rob he's there, but he's not going to be able to go into it deep enough to really convict the move. And now, just watch how Jay closes here. He'll lose. He'll go out to 7 tenths. But under the DRS, he'll probably find a couple of tenths back straight away, and it's a very short DRS zone, so he gets that gap down to 5/10 of a second. So he's mighty in the high speed sections and the top end speed, and now Nelly really starting to put the pressure on Chris Staps. This is for P2 and more points, of course. It's only 1 point of a difference, but points are points. And I think Nelly here is going to be able to make the move. He's got a bit more energy advantage to Chris Staps. He gets on it straight away on the exit of Beckett's. Up the hanger straight they go. DRS wide open. He's going to go round the long way. Chris Staps will try and hold the inside line, but Nelly round the outside he goes, and up into P2 is Matty. Picks up a time penalty for multiple warnings further back in the grid. And let's go to this Jay and Rob Wills battle, because look at Rob now under a bit of pressure from Jay. Is Jay going to go for one as we head on to the last lap of the race? He puts his nose in the inside. Oh, and there's contact there. Rob went round just a little bit. He's managed to collect the car back up and keep it going, but he falls to P7, ENTXJ up to P5, and I think this is a bit of sportsmanship going on here. It absolutely is. So, very fair play there to ENTXJ. That's what we like to see. Very, very good sportsmanship indeed. So let's go on board with Ryan Sam as he comes up to Copse Corner for the last time on this sprint race. Nelly and Kristaps still embroiled in a little bit of a battle there. And let's just go with that actually, because Kristaps is getting a mighty run. In fact, he gets out of it, heading up to Copse Corner, maybe not feeling like that was the ideal place to come for a run, and now he's compromised himself and the gap to really make a move at Nelly. He's just got to be better here on the exit of Magnussen Beckett's. And I think Kristaps is going to have done enough. But here comes Ryan Sam. He's heading up to the fourth to last corner. Top of hanger straight for the last time in this sprint. He started P5. He's got to P1. He takes the first scalper of the season in OTL. Ryan Sam coming out the last corner as we speak. Will win the sprint race in Britain. Nelly will come home for a solid drive. P2 from P7 on the grid. Kristaps 3 from P9 gets P3. Chubby Slug down a position but recovered much better than he thought. I think the Dean will get that position. He will. He'll go P4. Chubby Slug will hold P5. Rob will 6 of pole position, man. That horror start really punished him, and then he was embroiled in a fight that I think everybody was quite evenly placed. Surge P7. Mick P8, he gains 4, Surge up 8 positions, Ian TSG down 5, he's in P9, Nude Potato will start the feature in P10, Pedro P11, Connor Kid P12, Matty 13, Skarma 14, Ship P15, and Raspberry will start P16. Well, if it goes, Stephen, because it's penalty points this year, Rob will essentially, in fact, he's not scored any points at all now. If he was to get penalised there, he would lose his points from the sprint race. But that start, that was wow. These things happen, Jay. It's yeah, made some good gains, got yourself at the front of the grid, but of course it's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. And then I just got to kudos and give respect to the sportsmanship you showed on track there with Rob. Very, very respectful. Very good job, Nelly. A very thoroughly deserved second. But there is the screenshot there. For Mr. Jensen when he comes to see it. Yes, I agree. It's a different way of doing things now. What happens now? Do we just stay in this screen or what? Or are we going to the 50% race? What is the crack here, game? Penalties are plenty as well in the grid. More than 50% of the drivers not picking up any penalties, and of course that stands them in good stead. If they don't get a penalty getting into the in the feature race, that's also another bonus point, because of course if you can go through a full race with no penalties, we are rewarding that. We're trying to get guys to just be clean, and those points, just like the fastest lap point, could be crucial come the end of the season, especially if we're going to see a lot of different winners through the season as well. So bear with me, chat. I will actually use this time to grab the... pull my headset out apparently. Grab this time to use the restroom, chat. Just bear with me for 1 minute. So I'm back, chat. And we are on a formation lap, 26 laps ahead of the drivers. So we'll see exactly who does what. Ryan Sam taking the first 8 points of the season. Not quite sure who took fastest lap either. Maybe it was Ryan Sam also. So maybe 9 points. Oh no, fastest laps in the feature was silly me. Nelly says £5 on him winning. I really like to see it. Confidence is good. So, who gets the better of who? Of course, car now is going to feel very different. 15 to 17 extra laps of fuel on board. That's probably going to make a difference of about 3 to 5 tenths of a second on lap time, which you will feel. The car's just going to feel a bit harder through the corners. Understeer probably a bit more prevalent and noticeable. So it's about keeping that under control. And there's some big gaps going on. I really don't like to see that. Maybe there will need to be some words say afterwards. Just like all the guys to run at the pace of the leader. 10 car lengths is the rule. Although they are closing up near the end, so for me that's okay. As long as they don't let the leaders go too far. Though Chris, that's just too much of a gap. Leaders here could be looking at putting that one in, because that could be penalty worthy. Kristaps lines up, and I think he maybe shot a bit early. Dixie will take up the last spot in our first big race of the season. Our feature race will be ready to go. Chev gets set back and gets disqualified from the session, so we have 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights in the proper first feature race of OTL Season 5 is our way. Who gets the better start on the front row? Looks pretty even, but look at that Mercedes, a chubby slug. He's going to try and go around the long way into turn 1. I've not even been able to get any track data up. Let's go to that actually. We need to see what tyres the people are on. So, Sarge, Nelly, some guys choosing the soft compound tyres. That just for the early warm-up. Make sure nobody has any incidents. We head through turn 2 and 3 and look at Chubby Slug on that hard compound tyre. But Surge, make no bones about it, is going to come absolutely flying through here on these tyres, nice and early. Let's go now to position changes. And who is up? Matty up 8th position. How has he done that on his medium compound tyre? He's had a tremendous start. He's now doing battle with Nelly. As Surge pulls away, and who's that poking his nose up the inside? It's Nadeem. Further back in the order. Oh, Mick, he's had a moment on exit there, and round he goes. Kristaps has fell back as well. And that's maybe a bit calmer, that slow pace into the grid slot costing some drivers in that early setup. ENTXJ went for the soft compound early as well, so he's another driver that'll be making gains. And who's that? Somebody going very, very wide there. I think that was Surge on the exit. And look at Matoman and Ryan Sam. Matoman maybe looking a little bit more comfortable than Ryan Sam at the moment. He's certainly got a bit more energy. Oh, he's got to be careful there though. He's just trying to be too aggressive on the exits. Settle it down a bit. You don't want to be pushing that hard this early in the race. As Nelly, Matty and Surge now all start to do battle. And look at this behind. We've got Nadeem and ENTXJ on the inside through the last corner. He will get ahead now, I think. Through into turn 1 they go, and Jay will get that position. That is a tremendous place to get the overtake done. Although there's Nadeem. Oh, there's been a bad contact there, and somebody's routed in the wall, and there's Rob Wells out of the race. He hit the wall really hard there. Jace with a monumental snap of oversteer through turn 2, even in the soft compound tyre. And I can't even remember who it was, but they could not react to that, and that has been a big old incident. Nothing that could be done. Can't really blame anybody there either. Somebody's had a moment mid-corner and they're that close racing together that it's just caused an explosion of cars. This 1 minute 30 gap, I don't understand it. And with the Surge, something happened to Surge. Surge in his soft compound tyre, he's fell way down the order. So that is all the work he tried to get done in the softs, absolutely shot in the foot. That'll be absolute over now. Matty up to P10. although being hunted dramatically by Nelly. In fact, I think Nelly is going to try and go through, but Matty's going to use a bit of energy. He's also running good straight line speed. And we've got a yellow flag in sector 3, somebody around, that could be Surge, yes it is. He's lost an exit a bit. As we see Mick and Rob's now doing a fight. Bit of fighting, I don't think Rob's get any win though. So Mick will go through easy peasy. As Chubby Slug now sets the fastest lap of the race. He is hungry for Ryan Sam, he's coming after him. DRS enabled. Can he get himself inside that 1 second window and really start to push on and have a go? Finally we've got the gap sorted. And Nadeem, Connor Kidd, Nelly and Matty, they're all start to get embroiled in a little bit of a fight here. Now what you don't want to do here is burn up the energy. There's still a long way to go in the race. In that DRS lane you probably just want to stay there. Shiv and Raspberry now doing a bit of fighting. Pedro's right in that fight as well. He's got his teammate right behind him. And a yellow flag. Is that somebody? I think Sir just dropped it at turn 2 again. He falls further down the order. Rubber's taking his pit stop. Now, has Dixie fell out that DRS window? Yes, he has. So Pedro here got a very, very good opportunity to get through. And Dixie, DRS will open. It's going to get. Pedro needs to be using that energy. 85%. Where's the overtake? Energy use. There goes Jay. Pedro will go up the middle. And Adam is going to try and hold it in the inside line. And this is some good racing here between the Red Bull and Haasman. It's a flashback of Mick Schumacher and Max Verstappen all over again. And some very, very good racing there between the two. Let's go further up the order. What's happening further ahead? Matty now closing in on Nelly. So this is interesting. Nelly just falling off the pace a little bit, and Ryan Sam looking very, very comfortable at the moment. Got 4.5 seconds, so he's pretty much took a second out the pack every lap of the race. So he's having a very good day in the office. Or the car, we should say. As Nadeem and Connor Kidd, New Potato, just starting to fall out that DRS window. And once you lose the DRS, we know it's very hard to get back into the window. The guys with the DRS tend to just pull away. And Nadeem now having a little bit of a look at Matty, trying to put him under a bit of pressure. Matty will now lose the DRS window from Nelly as well. So Nelly getting done what he had to. Matty's got to be careful there. He just took a very wide line in the entrance to Maggots and Beckett's, and now Nadeem's definitely going to be able to get the run here. DRS will pop open, he'll get on the energy. Matty got some good straight line speed in the car, but we see Nadeem in the top end gets through as well. And there, Connor Kidd and Matty will now go side by side. Oh, that went the wrong way in the track there. And some good racing. Connor Kidd now goes through into P4, Nadeem up to P3. Can't anything catch Ryan Sam? Who's that that's went round? Oh, is that Pedro? What happened there? Some contact between Pedro and somebody. And what's happened to Nadeem? Nadeem, he's had a moment. I think he's dropped the car. Nadeem has probably dropped the car on the last corner there. He falls to P8. No, that looked like somebody else about to have a moment. Whoa, it's all kicking off. 5 laps in. And guys, if they've not adapted the setup, we'll really be starting to feel it now. Is that a lap car? Yes, it is. Surge getting out of the way of everybody there. Further back, what's going on between Skarma and Chubby Slug here? Chubby Slug going on the inside here of Adam, and he will get through on that hard compound tyre. Adam's going to hold it there though. Mataman gets the squeeze on. Is Adam going to go the long way? Cops. Mataman no carries much better speed and gets through. Now Adam's going to come under pressure. Big pressure for Skarma. Skarma chooses to get out it though. Maggots and Beckett's being smart there. No, it's not the place to get the job done. He's got a DRS opportunity coming up as Dixie's very slow in the exit. Beckett's. Can Skarma now get the run, but he's got absolutely no energy to mount an attack And Matty now down to P5. What's happened there? New Potato now goes through. He's spent on the energy as well. But Matty down to P5, still up 8 positions. But New Potato and Corner Kid starting to make a little bit of an impact in the race. Can they close that 6.5 second gap though to the leader? Oh, it's very hot, chat. Very, very hot. Let's go to this Scarman Raspberry battle again. One of the closest gaps on circuit at the moment. Oh, and Raspberry cuts the corner, going on to Wellington Straight. That picks him up a penalty. Let's go back to this little train of cars here. This is the fight here, and it's a fight for the podium as well. These guys just need to try and stay with each other, get pulled along. And a lot of track extension going on at Cox. So, where is, oh, Nadeem and ENTXJ, here we go. ENTXJ still on that soft compound tyre. The boys are an absolute animal. Hanging on lap 7. Is he going to come for a go on Nadeem here? He's going to have to go the long way if he wants to. But Nadeem wise to it. ENTXJ now opens up the last couple of corners. He wants the better exit here and try and get the run. Chubby Slug now closing up in this as well. It's a Mataman coming back into it. Absolutely not over, of course. They're on the hard compound tyres, so that's going to be one to watch. In fact, let's go back and just have a look at the tyres now for everybody. So Jay, the only man left on the soft compound tyre, and our only 2 pit stops at the moment has been Rob Wills and Surge. And what? Oh, that's maybe not the best day for Rob, but he's got to take confidence from the early pace if he can get these starts down. He can be very, very competitive because he seems to have the race pace as well. Shiv and Matty now set to do a bit of battle. And Matty's been a bit of a man in the thick of it here. No energy left. Shiv will see that red light flashing and know that this is his opportunity to strike. He does get on energy nice and early, and here he comes. DRS open to the inside, up the hanger straight, and he'll be well ahead. And he's got to be careful here because who's that? Oh no, it's a back marker car. I was very confused there. Exactly what was going on. And this could give Surge a penalty sitting in here. The game might penalise that just a little bit. Oh, Matty's got to be careful. There was a borderline penalty there. And ENTXJ now in. He's going to change his tyre. Oh, and that will definitely be a warning for Dixie for turn 1 track limits. Took way too much of the curb on the inside. Matty now picks up time penalty for multiple warnings. And Shiv now making gains on Nude Potato. So Shiv is coming alive in the latter part of the stint here. We have a yellow flag, sector 1, 2 and 3. Somebody is round. Is that Surge again? He's had a moment. And Aaron picks up his first time penalty for multiple warnings. In fact, it may actually be second penalty for track limits. Let's have a look. Yes, it is. Chubby Slug setting the fastest lap of the race in P8. He is very much coming back into this race, showing some very strong pace. And that is an Aston Martin. It's Nude Potato, he's round. What has happened to Nude Potato? He falls down to P8 and Chubby Slug now gets through back to P6 and absolutely lighting up the sector. So Matt's on a big push here. Chasing down Matt, chasing Matty at the moment. Gap 2.1 seconds, and we'll keep an eye on that as the race goes on. Let's go down to Mick and Raspberry. This could be a good little fight here. Mick coming to the inside line. And he'll get ahead of Raspberry into Cop's corner. Adam choosing not to fight it out this time. So Chubby Slug's hitting another fastest lap of the race, and look at that, 2.2 seconds, the gap is down to 1 second. Matt is absolutely flying at the moment. This boy is on a mission to recover the lost ground. Just needs to stay cool. This rhythm that he's in is a very, very good one. I think he's, well, he clearly is the fastest man on track at the moment. So whatever he's doing absolutely right. He needs to just stay with that now. Stay in that zone that he's in. And the overtakes and pace is coming to him quite naturally here. Happy to let Matty stay ahead here, picking his battles clever as well. He could have probably got the run there at Matty, but he's going to wait for the DRS, which is smart. So here we go, and he gets it all ready on the back of Matty. Matty will go to the inside line, and he's going to have to use a bit of energy here. Matty got some good straight line speed in the car here. He's going to just keep his nose on the inside, and he will go through there. And Matty's got to be careful because now he comes under pressure from Nadeem. Nadeem to the inside, second last corner, space being left there. Matty going to try and hold it. Nadeem will try and go around the long way to come through the last corner. More side by side action through the last corner. And through goes Nadeem. Matty loses 2 position in 2 corners there. Skarma picks up a time penalty for multiple warnings. And now let's watch the gap between Matoman and Shiv. 2.4 seconds. 2.3 in fact, is coming down very, very quickly already. I don't know what kind of beans Matoman is just eating after that pit stop, but he is absolutely flying. He's pulling Nadeem along with him as well. As Raspberry comes in for his pit stop. That seems about right. 11 laps on the medium, 15 laps on the hards. So the hard stop will not be far away as well. I'd say if your wheel's still below 50%, you're in a very good place on that hard compound tyre. You can probably actually extend your stint a little bit. Is MD bold enough to go hard to soft? Jade done 9 laps in the softs. So if you could take it to lap 17, your hard tyre, soft could maybe be a punt to get aggressive near the end. Of course it would be a risk. I think we just stay with this battle out between Nadeem and Chubby Slug. Chubby Slug very quickly pulling in Shiv as well. He's eyeing up top 4 again. In fact, I think he'll be in the DRS window of Shiv for the next zone coming up. Nude Potato picking up a time penalty for multiple warnings. He's only our 4th driver so far. And Mataman did not quite get the DRS range, although he did get in the window after the detection zone. Closing up, he's very, very good in the technical part of the track. This is where he's finding a lot of his time. And we got a yellow flag. Who's that? It's the other Alpha Tauri, and it's Kristaps. He's went round. He's at a moment the bottom of Wellington Straight, but let's watch Mataman here. He's all over the back of Shiv, and he's going to push on through here, I think. Through he goes. He'll go to the racing line, and he's happy not to use a load of energy. Look at it, he just seems to have more grip than anybody else. And if this is the grip he's getting at the moment, the boy needs to extend his stint here. Nearly in. Connor Kidd, Shiv and Nadeem all in, so they're off the hard compound tyre now, the medium compound tyre, and they're going to the hard. Jimmy Slick's still lighting up sectors, so the pace is still in this tyre, for Matoman at least. Let's just go and have a look at the tyre. 12 laps so far. Matty's choosing to stay out as well. Oh, and Mick, it's a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That's not what you want at all. And now a race out of the pits as we see Mick coming in. He bolts on his new hard compound tyre and away he goes. Pedro also in. Nobody getting double stacked just yet. And look at Ryan Sam, 12.3 seconds ahead. And Chubby Slug now up to P2 in the race. And get a very comfortable margin now to Matty, over 5 seconds the gap to P3. I'm trying to see where gaps are, but this pack now is opened up just a little bit. There seems to be not much racing going on, although Rob Wills and Pedro on the pit exit here, and Rob Wills nearly getting the run there in Pedro. Pedro of course on that colder tyre, couldn't quite get the same power, but here comes Rob as they're going to go to the inside line. He's got to remember he's got much more temp in the tyre. Pedro's got to be careful of that. Running wide there and giving space. His tyres are still yet to come into their window. Jay there catches that. He's very good at stopping these slide mid corners. And what's happened to Matoman? Matoman's had a moment because Mate is back ahead, and the gap now 18.5 seconds to Ryan Sam. And who's that having a moment? Is that Scarm off the last corner? Oh, and has he broke his wing? No, he's managed to keep the wing intact. That's not so bad. What happened to Matoman, I wonder. Oh, look at that for a move there. Chubby Slug on the exit of the corner. Through he goes back to P2, but I think the win now is maybe out of reach for Mataman. He's just got to nail down that P2, which would still be very good. 3 positions gain. Matty, if he can stay there as well, it'll be a good day in the office for Matty. But of course those guys that took the pit stop will be closing in massively. Does Matty fancy getting the medium to lap 19? Cheeky soft tyre, medium to soft stint. Big ask as Kristaps comes into the pits. Oh, and Scum out. Could this be a safety car? Is it about to be a safety car? And it is. Safety car is out. So this changes everything. That gap that Ryan Sam has built up is about to be absolutely wiped out. Safety car out, lap 15 of the race. And well, we're going to see a straight shootout between Chubby Slug and Ryan Sam to the end of the race. They will both go to the medium compound. I think that's the smartest way. Will somebody take a risk from here on the softs? Couple of laps under the safety car. Soft tire could be the way. Could be a big chance to take. But I see you only maybe doing 7 to 9 laps in the softs, which is very possible. So let's see who takes the punt. There is a Red Bull there lining up a soft compound tyre, and I think that could be for Pedro. I think Pedro's going to try the soft. He is, so Pedro onto the soft compound tyre. Let's go to actually the tyres and we'll see. In fact, Mick, Raspberry, Rob, Pedro all went to the soft compound tyre. So ENTXJ goes medium. Kristaps has to go to the hard. He was on the medium compound tyre. Nelly, Con on the Demon Shiv, of course they will just stay out. It is a massive lifeline, Rob. I really hope to see you make some gains in the closing laps. We're probably going to have 9 laps of racing to go. So there is opportunity. Ryan Sam to the soft compound tyre. Chubby Slug to the medium. Now, this is very interesting. If Matoman can stay with Ryan Sam in the restart, I think he could be in trouble. But it's going to be a big ask for Chubby Slug to stay with that soft compound tyre in the first 2 to 5 laps on the restart here. He's going to have to spend a hell of a lot of energy, I think. A lot of drivers going for the soft compound tyre. So Ryan Sam should have picked up the safety car now. Yes, he has. And once everybody's took their pit stops, we'll get the running order. Just a couple of drivers to come out. And of course will we get lap cars overtake? I do not know. I wonder, of course that'll not happen till the queue comes, everybody catches up, and then they will release the lap cars if it is a thing. I've seen it mentioned from a few people, I'm not 100% sure. It would be nice if they do get a chance. Of course at the moment, Rob's lifeline is a little bit shot in the foot. Because I think he's going to be a lap down in Surge still. I don't think this safety car is going to catch him, and then Surge will get to come all the way around onto the back of this queue. Oh, maybe not, he may just get through. Oh, and Rob's coming in. Oh. So Rob comes in, that's interesting. Now the thing, does Surge get out away ahead of the safety car? Yes, he does. So Rob's going to have to go back into the train. Oh, and is that a wing change? Oh, it's a wing change for Rob. Something's happened there. I think he's maybe clipped the back of Ryan Sam and picked up some early damage. Corner kid on his hard. It's a tough one. SVW, we've seen Jay take the soft compound 9 laps at the start. Oh, pit exit out, Rob. So the soft is possible. The medium though, I think, in terms of durability and having comfortability to push for the duration of the race, I think the medium probably will be superior. It's just if the medium can stay with the soft in its peak. That is the question. So we're going to have a little while under the safety car, but that is the running order now. So it'll be Ryan Sam restarting, Corner Kid P2, Chubby Slug 3, Matty 4, Nude Potato P5, Nelly 6, Nadeem 7, Shiv P8, Mick P9, Kristaps P10, Raspberry P11, ENTXJ P12, Pedro P13, Surge P14, Robbers P15, and Skarma, of course, we lose at lap 15. 16 or 14 of the race, triggering the safety car that we are now under. An opportunity aplenty ahead. There's still a couple of laps to go under the safety car, I would imagine. So, who is at the back? It's Rob and Pedro to catch up, or Rob's in the train, so it's Pedro and Serge to catch the train. They should get it maybe this lap. Who's that getting in the pits? Raspberry getting in? Why is he getting in the pits? Losing out one position, going for a fresh soft compound tyre. But it won't have a new set though, I wouldn't think. That's interesting. And it's just started to get a little bit darker in the sky as well, some cloud cover coming over the circuit. It's not just as blue as it was. Could we see some weather impact the race as well? Of course, while the safety car's out, if the rain was due at the end of the race, this makes it much more likely that it will happen. And what's happened there? Corner kid, no! He spun the car! And what's happened there? Oh... Why, if they gave that through? Alright, so that'll get removed. Don't worry Mick, that will be removed. I know that was for corner kid spin. That's just one of the things that can't be helped in the game. So we may not... Yeah, definitely will, SPW. We may not see a restart this lap. We may go one more. Let's just wait and see. Oh no, safety car's coming in this lap. Pedro needs to get a move on. Raspberry's going to catch up at a lovely time here. He in fact wants to back off now. Back right off. Roll up to this pack nice and slowly. And keep that temperature right up. Pedro as well, if he pushes hard here, get on the energy, catch this pack up. You can't afford to go slowly, and Mick gets another 5-second time penalty for ignoring yellow flags. I don't understand what's happened there. So let's watch now, and Ryan Sam is now away. Mataman taking a weird downshift there. I don't know quite what was happening there. But here we go, on the restart. Ryan Sam being able to get the push now. Can Mataman weather the storm from those behind? That is the question. And look at the grip difference for Ryan Sam. He's just absolutely trundling away here. Pedro has got himself back in the fight. In fact, he's just got through there on Rob. Oh, because Rob's a lap down. He's getting blue flagged, so let's see exactly what's going on. Further back in the order, let's see the gaps here. Shiv coming in on the Dean. Matt Fuel, nah, he's fine. Absolutely fine. So starting to put a bit of a gap on Matty and pulling Ryan Sam in just a little bit here. Mataman just needs to find that rhythm he was in the hards. He was driving very, very well on the hard compound tyre. He came back from a big mistake and definitely in line for my caller driver of the day at the moment. And he is catching Ryan Sam up. So who's been forced to use more energy at the moment? Ryan Sam. So that's interesting. Ryan Sam having to use more energy on the better compounder tyre. So that shows that Mataman's pace is very, very good at the moment. Now Potato eyeing up a podium. Let's check the penalties here, because they could pay dividends, because Nelly eyeing up a podium. Ryan Sam setting the fastest lap of the race to 30.4. That puts the bonus point initially his way. New Potato's got to be careful there, don't hit that grass too hard. He gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, so that really puts him out of the hunt for the top 4. As long as the guys behind stay with him now. 6 laps to go. And Matoman not really letting Ryan Sam pull away at all. And has Matoman been the only driver to get the strat call right? And Ryan Sam's picked up a penalty! The leader of the race, spending all that time with that big buffer. Buffer wiped out, under pressure, gets the penalty, and now Matoman doesn't even need to overtake him to get the race win. So now, absolute prime opportunity for Chubby Slug to take the first victory of the season. He just needs to relax. No need to be nervous now. The hard work has just been done for him by the guy ahead. He just needs to hold this and be easy with the car. No risks need to be taken. And just bring the car home. DRS re-enabled. As Rob Will sets the fastest lap of the race now in a 30.2. And Raspberry picking up a time penalty for multiple warnings. That puts him firmly last at the moment. So 5 laps to go. Can Matoman get the job done here? Look how close he is at the moment to Ryan Sam. Is that soft tyre just not giving the grip that people are looking for? And here goes Mick and Kristaps, a little bit of wheel banging, but Mick gets through. And ENTSG, oh, and ENTSG's just been absolutely sideswiped there for Kristaps. Kristaps not looking in the mirrors there at all, and it just absolutely clatters Jay straight off the road. I think Jay never got a warning there for any penalties. Of course, Mick will have 2.5 seconds to come off. So he only has 3 seconds at the moment, but he would lose out to Kristaps and ENTXG. But no more than that, and here we go, Ryan Sam and Chubby Slug having a bit of a battle up front now. Ryan Sam tried to get back ahead. Matoman on that outside line at the top of Hanger Straight. He's been very, very good there today. And these guys, just a class above at the moment, absolutely storming away. Oh, and there's been a moment, New Potato falls down the order. He's at the moment at the second to last corner. I wonder if that's in traction pickup or trying to make a move to another driver. So nearly now really in for the podium. In fact, Ryan Sam, oh no, he's not going to fall off that. He's going to stay P2 as it stands. The gap is very much in his favour. And Shiv picks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warning. That puts him to 6 seconds. So that would even almost put him behind Mick at this point. Mick just needs to find a little bit of pace. And Mick now side by side again. This time with Surgeon and gets the job done. He's up to P10. Mick found some pace in his soft compound tyres. The stint gets later and guys start to struggle. There seems to be some lifeblood left in Mick. Oh, and Mick and New Potato, they're going to go side by side into Magus and Beckett's. Here we go. Con still there on the outside, and there's... Oh. Well, that's an interesting one. And you cannot retire on track. So, down to 4 laps to go. Chubby Slug got the gap to 8.5 seconds. 0.8 of a second, sorry. 8.5, what am I talking about? In fact, has he managed to break the DRS? No, Ryan Sam's going to be able to stay on it just at the moment. DRS are plenty coming up here. And look at Connor Kid in the Alpine, trying to make a move. Oh, and Chubby Slug, he's picked up a time penalty now, but he's got the gap to 1.7 seconds. The medium tyre, Mataman, has got the strategy absolutely spot on. I did say soft tyre, it could be feasible, but it would be a risk. And that's just shown that the tyre has no longevity in it at all. It is literally a qualifying tyre and that is it. Shiv going to try and make a move here on Matty. Not this time. Apologies chat, as we get on to 2 laps to go. Chubby Slug now got that gap out to 2.3 seconds. He's going to take the first race of the season in good style. Raspberry, for some reason, retired in the pits. Not quite sure what's happened there. But Adam, I think you've retired too early to get points. Because it's such a short race, I think it's like 25 laps here. I could be wrong. Maybe it is 24. And Mataman now absolutely chilling. Let's stay with this fight though. Nadim and nearly. I mean, Nadim, could he make a move? Could he possibly? In fact, he is. He is going to get into. Can he get into Ryan Sam's window? Half a second needed. Oh. I think you should be okay, Adam. I think 24 will be okay. I think even still, yeah, I think you're about right. You just lose some points because you've got to be 14. Apologies there, chat. I'm seeing you came in for a little chitty chat. So, 2 laps to go. Wow, Stephen, that hurts bad. So here comes Connor Kid as well. He's trying to get involved in this podium battle. Can he come through? His hard tyre starting to even be better than the softs here. A couple of laps to go. Maybe, just maybe, Connor Kid could salvage P3. I think that'd be a very good day in the office as well. And here he goes, he will go breezing past Nelly at the moment now, the gap to 1.1 seconds to Nadim. In fact, he'll get that below the DRS window. Now, can Connor Kid get the podium back? A Chubby Slug Rise Sam Connor Kid podium for a first race in OTL. Who would have thought that would have been the odd, but of course, no Mike or double champ this year, as he's having some time away. So on to the last lap. Mataman coming onto Wellington Street for the last time. The gap 4.1 seconds. He does not need to do much at all. But here comes Connor Kid. He is eyeing up the podium at the end. DRS open. Nadino got a lot of energy for the defence. So this is how it's going to be difficult for Connor. Because Nadim probably just hold on to that energy for the DRS. And make it very difficult, but you just see the hard tyres just better mid-corner and on corner exit. Nadim's getting on energy to try and break a bit of a gap. And Mood Potato out, he's had a moment, and who's that with? Oh, that's with Nelly. Nelly's got a puncture. Nelly picks up a puncture. The soft tyres really starting to struggle. We'll need to keep an eye for that one. It's Connell Kid now really gets on the back of the Dean. Can he make the move? Gap forward, 10th of a second. Has he got enough in the tank to get up onto the back of him? I don't think he has. A yellow flag in sector 1, that is for nearly that puncture, but Matoman now 2 corners to go. He'll take the last corner. He's drove absolutely faultlessly and he takes the checker flag in the win for round 1 at Silverstone of OTL. Ryan Sam will come home in P2, but Nadeem will get that P2. Connor Kid gets to P3. Ryan Sam controlling the race after 18 seconds of gap. That safety car promotes him to P4. Kristaps P5, ENTXJ6, Marty P7, Shiv P8. Pedro will come home for a P9 finish, not too bad at all. Surge for P10, and over the line in a bit of style with a spin. And then Nelly will bobble home with a burst tyre in P11. What a race. So let's see if, oh, a better way actually, and then get the guys in for a chat. What a race. That was very, very interesting. So, just waiting Nelly getting round so I can get Archipel, actually race director this just so Jensen can see it. Oh no, it's not going to show me it. So we just need to wait and Nelly taking the checker flag so I can show this screen, and then I will invite the guys to the party for a chat. And a lovely finesse finish there from Nelly to bring home 11th and the last man across the line, and that concludes round 1 of OTL. Connor Kid getting driver of the day from the game. Without a shadow of a doubt though, Mice has to be Matoman. He fell all the way down the order after a spin. He got in the gravel at turn 2 and drove all the way back to P2, then gets the safety car and gets the brake. Then takes the right call on the strategy onto that medium compound tyre and drives home that win, getting the superior grip in the last 4 laps of the race to take the win by 4 seconds in the end. So let's add them now for a chat, or whoever will come for a chat. Bear with me 1 second, chat. The screen will be blue just for a little minute. So we need Chubby Slug, Ryan Sam, and then SAF1. Nadeem. So let's see if they'll come for a chat. But what a race. There you go, Jensen. Oh, race director. There you go. Sorry, Jensen, I see what you mean now. There you go, shut. I just realised it was a little bit different now. So who joins us here?
Hello.
Who's this? Matoman?
Yes.
Right, is it just yourself so far? Well, we'll just start with you, Matt. Our race winner, our feature race winner, and very, very impressive today, Matthew. You showed a bit of grit and determination after your moment. I think you fell to, I don't know how far you fell away after your spin. And pre-safety car, you drove the car back to P2 with just some, I think you set maybe 5 or 6 consecutive fast laps on that hard compound tyre in that first stint, which was mightily impressive. And your pace there, I think, is what made your race. And of course, then the safety car, the gift from the racing gods. And then you picked the optimal strategy. The soft tyre looked like it could do it. Was there any worry at that time that soft could beat me here? But the mediums was probably the better one for the length of the stint?
It wasn't more for the length, it was more for the tyre temps. I noticed, because obviously I practiced earlier, I noticed that the tyre temps were spiking really badly. So I
Right.
thought the soft compound tyre over the length would really be affected by that. So I chose the medium tyre, just purely on that basis. And it did worry me a little bit that it kept going on lap after lap, the safety car. But in the end I thought, right, I can sort of, if I can keep it behind Ryan Sam, I can sort of make something here.
And you must have felt, once you seen Ryan Sam, he never really broke further than 1.5 seconds ahead in the first couple of laps of the safety car, because that's where he had to try and get the damage done in that soft compound tyre. Of course, it never came from, and you hang on, and then once you cleared them, it was just clear to see the medium tyre was just much, much better at the end of the race for you compared to the soft compound tyre, because I think you'd get the gap out to over 4 seconds.
Yeah, I noticed he's got very quick straight line speed, but in the corners he lacked pace, where I was the complete opposite.
Yes, you were very good at the top of Wellington Straight tonight. You made some tremendous moves round the outside there.
Yeah, they were quite ballsy. Yeah, no,
Apologies,
overall,
Phil.
that's alright, mate. Overall, really good race. Happy to take the championship by the horns, pretty much.
Yeah, you couldn't really ask to start in a better way, I guess. You could have won the sprint, but either way, you know, your feature races, the races where you score the most points over the season, so sprints aside, if you can have your longer races like that, and
Yeah.
I think you need to spend a bit less time in time trial and a bit more time in the GP modes and just dial in that finesse, because if you can get yourself in the zone you were in that hard compound tyre, you've got to go to be one of the joint favourites for the title this season, Matt, and I genuinely mean that.
Yeah, I think the pace I showed, I think I've proved to myself really that I've got the pace.
You just need to get rid of the wee moments.
Yeah, that's. I think some of them were tyres spiking, like the temp spiking and stuff like that. But
so that's where I think you need to no more time trial and get onto the GP modes. Find your AI level, get onto the GP modes, and go for your big stint rate or your practice and the kind of sessions and get on top of driving like that. But very, very good job, Matt. I'll just call it right here. You would have been my or you are my driver of the day today, I think. Absolutely flawless, even after your mistake. You really drove home a very good one. Nadeem as well, he fell down the order. I think he's in the chat. Another driver that recovered very, very well. But because you take the race win and that good strategy call at the end, it would go to you, Matt. So very good job on that as well. It's an extra point for yourself. And I think you get no oh no, you did get a penalty in the end, so.
Yeah, oh well, it is what it is.
That's it. But very good job, Matt. A very thoroughly deserved feature race win. Yeah, from your incident, you were flawless. Very, very strong. So Nadeem, a P2 man in the end. I don't know how you'll feel after today, Nadeem. I think you'll be happy that you recovered, of course, but I think yourself, Matoman and Ryan Sam, if you can get away for the incidents, are going to have a very, very intense season by the looks of it. Do you feel you could have won today?
Yeah, I think as you British say, a wee bit disappointed. Yeah, so yeah, I think a bit conflicting feelings. Definitely felt like I had a pace to win it. Wasn't the most confident going in the race because yeah, I haven't really done any race practice or yeah, it's actually my first competitive race on the wheel today also. So going into a bit of the unknown, but yeah, quite surprised how strong the pace was. Yeah, just a bit unfortunate for mistakes. Yeah, the start was a bit tricky, you know, with being on no traction control first start as well. So yeah, definitely a lot to improve, but I think overall the race pace is there, just about grinding out the mistakes, and hopefully I can the other guys do that.
So if you just made the transition from pad to wheel, is that what I'm picking up from that? Have you just changed over recently?
Yeah, well, I had the wheel for a bit, but things have been a bit hectic over
That makes it very impressive then. The pace that you've shown there for only being on the wheel, what, a month?
Yeah, I guess a month, 2 months full time.
So I think on wheel you've got a bright future ahead, Nadeem. But very, very good job in the P2. You recovered well. No penalties as well. I think you're one of the guys that picked up no penalties, so you get us a little extra bonus point for that, which is always a bit better. So good job today, mate. A very thoroughly deserved P2. Connor, good evening. I actually invited Ryan Sam, but I forgot he fell to P4, so apologies for the late invitation.
That's grand.
Again, kind of same as Nadeem, I'm unsure how you feel, Connor. Of course, you've just took a full-time seat. We've seen you very competitive when you came in. You were the sprint genie, we could call you, last season. You seemed to be able to come in and get the good results. Happy with P3 to start?
Yeah, definitely happy after, like, I thought I was just under the safety car and I thought it was over already. But to get back to P3, can't really complain about that, to be honest.
And how was your race overall? No real big incidents for yourself. Managed to avoid the kind of carnage early on, or was there any big incidents? Don't think you did.
There wasn't much. In the sprint, I struggled so much, but once I got used to the car because I didn't do any practice really with the new update. But once I got used to the car and after the race, I was doing alright, and I stayed out on the hards under the safety car, which I was banking on. And if I didn't spin out, it probably could have been P1 or P2, but as you can see, the sauce just completely lost, so I had to bring it back up to P3, which wasn't too bad in the end.
Yeah, and you're really the hard. You seen it. In fact, you were one of the guys that made the tyre drop off in the soft look pretty obvious, because you were on the hard compound and it wasn't even a new hard. You were a bit into the stint, and with like 4 or 5 laps to go, the rate you started to catch guys was pretty impressive, and I think that's when you seen that the soft guys were just they were either struggling with temps or they were just at the end of the stint for the soft tyre.
The softs just seem unusable in this game for most of it anyway.
Yeah, I think it's just a qualification tyre really. By the looks of how that race ended anyway, I think you'd be looking probably if the safety car was only going to leave you with 5 laps, the softs would be worth it, but other than that, I don't think so. But P3 in your first full-time drive, Connor, of course you says you'll not be able to make some of the races, but do you think you can get involved in the races you are here? I definitely feel you have the pace. There's 4 of you, yourself, Ryan, Nadeem and Matman. I actually forgot Connor, it's because I thought Ryan was P3. I think it could be a bit spicy, the championship. Do you feel the same?
Yeah, like, as long as I cut out the spinning, because I've gotten to no traction. And last game I wasn't even on no traction. Now I'm still just getting used to that. But once I nailed that, I think, I could be up there, just challenging for the podiums at least, definitely.
Well, I look forward to seeing more of it. And I look forward to the first day yourself, Nadeem, Matt, and Ryan Sam as well can all kind of go at it. I think Nude Potatoes probably get the pace to be up there on that front fight, just wee incidents couldn't quite go his way, never seemed to look fully comfortable in the car today either. Maybe another driver that just never got time with the update this morning. But very good job in the P3, Connor.
Thanks.
A very well driven race. I think you were one of the other drivers with no penalties across the 2 races.
Yeah, nothing.
So that's an extra point for yourself, which is always good. The more points you can get, the better. So good job to all our top 3, to Matoman for the P1, a very well driven win. Nadeem, a good recovered P2. A nice, steady, solid P3 for Connor Kid. Matoman, of course, gets the driver of the day from me. And I think that is us for round 1 in OTL. Of course, the channel will be live for a Britain sprint race in HOR on Wednesday evening, so that'll be one to watch. And then Realistic is going to actually have a delay because of the performance patch, so then we won't be live again until Sunday with P0. So until Wednesday, we will see you very soon. Thank you, Matt, Nadeem, Connor and everyone else for some very good entertainment tonight. And until Wednesday, thank you very much for tuning in.